gun pulled on you, I tell people you only use a gun responsibly. We believe in, I'm just going to be real with y'all, because I ain't going, this is what it is out here in Texas. My pastor carries, we don't play that out here, because people go in places and they act like they're going to rob people. A man was robbed on TV. A pastor was robbed on live TV. They went in there and robbed the place. I think him too, I don't know. But at the end of the day, people not playing that out here. We used to leave the church doors open, all that stuff. No, we started getting death threats because we serve a certain community, LGBT and all that stuff. We serve everybody. And so when we put that out there, some people didn't like that. We will never turn anybody away for food and folks who need our help. And so now folks are told to make sure they are protected. State law gives you that right. We put it on the door so you know. When you open that door, you know what the law is. And when you fire that gun, you know what the law is. And so that's what we teach. We teach it's responsible. You don't go looking for trouble. You don't pull a gun out because at a red light. That's weird. You don't do that stuff. But you do everything in a controlled and order manner. And that is what we teach, especially with women. We want women to be safe because a lot of people prey on women and try to, they're weak. Let me prey on them. We had 2 self-defense folks come out with the Fort Worth Police Department. So we're doing everything the right way, legally, ethically, under the law, and we work with the police and the federal government.
Question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So I'm sorry, I asked you a question before, and I'm fixing my wife's tire in a parking lot, and the police rolled up on me when you were answering the question, so I didn't hear it. And I don't know if they were racially profiling or not, but I didn't hear the question. Are you over the 200 mark? You look very muscular, or not? I didn't get the answer to that question because I was involved with the police. Yes, you.
Am I over the 200-pound mark?
Back in the back.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I don't know what's that for, but yes. I don't know. Am I fat? Am I supposed to be skinny?
No. It was a question I asked before. I need to know if you wanted to, if you could, overpower me or not. And I'm sorry, that's a personal thing. I was just asking.
6'3", 210. So no, she's not a heavyweight.
Okay.
That's perfect.
All right, I got 10 pounds, but I lost 2 inches on the height, so I'm not sure.
Please, we need a topic. Please, we need a reset.
Nicholas, these are the best questions you can have.
We try to hear his response. Talk about getting.
I have no idea, brother.
I'm worried about it, but
I don't attack men. I love men. You know what I'm saying? I get along with men.
You are respectful to men. I have to say that. No, she is. She always, she's strong and whatnot, but she is always respectful of men and her man. I have to say that. She does say crazy liberal things sometimes, but she is respectful.
Yeah, I respect men. I don't got no problems with men. Like my grandmother said, you get along with the opposite sex because what? It makes your life easy financially and all the way around. You don't act like with the opposite sex. You try to get along with a man because a man is your helpmate and vice versa. So I get along with my helpmate unless my ass want to be alone. I love getting along with men because men. That's right. Make that money.
Men are the worst. I can't stand men half the time.
Nicholas, you got no other choice now, bro. You already made your bed. You got to lie in it. Whether it's on top or on bottom, but you got to lie in it.
Oh, no, on the top.
Why are men bad? Who is saying men are bad? Why are men bad?
Why do y'all know about... Never mind.
Huh? What did you say that men are bad? What did men do? They're not bad.
People aren't fresh at Clubhouse. Let's be honest here. People talk about this shit all.
We learned it from you, Dad. We learned it from you.
Yeah,
go get a man. I don't know who's talking, but go get a man and try it out. It's not too bad.
Okay,
they ain't too bad.
So here's the thing, right? Like, what do I need a man for, right? Like, I need a hookup buddy, right? Because that's all I really need them for. Like, I don't need a man to take care of me. I can take care of myself. Like, I need a good ass to smash, and then I want them to go away and not be someone else's problem. I'm not trying to get set.
Now, why you sit up there and say
that? You might as well be straight with that attitude.
I mean, brother, a man don't have. I don't understand. But a man is not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like my folks say, try one. don't be mean or angry. Dudes help out. I don't need a man to take care of me either. I can take care of myself. Do I want a man? You dang on right. But at the end of the day, I can take care of myself. But I think if you don't say men are negative, don't, you know what I mean? Not all men are like that. Just go try one. You know what I'm saying? Go. There's a bunch of men out there. Go pick one and go be with them. That's what my grandmother told me.
Yeah, go be with one, Ricky.
They're not. Oh, that was Ricky. Oh, I'm sorry, Ricky. Ricky.
No, that was not me. That was not me.
No, that was Ricky. Ricky said he
That was not me. That was Nicholas.
You know how you get
Oh my God.
So I will say too, like, this is something.
Oh, I apologize. I'm so sorry.
This
No, that was not me.
This is something that I think the straights beat us at. Like, the dating pool in the gay world is horrendous. Like, when you talk about numbers, like, think about it. We're like, what, 3% of the population? Half of them are, you know, if once you reach a college education, you're making a decent money, that population goes down to 1%. And on top of that, half of these hoes are in, like, child syndrome where they don't want to settle down till they're 65. So and then the whole concept of, like, open relationships in the gay world is horrendous. Half of them want to fuck you in half the town. It's just like, dating is the worst when you're gay. So I got to give it to the straights. They beat us in this category. It is much easier for y'all to find a reasonable partner who doesn't have some fucking trauma or any type of mental issues.
Huh?
Try again. I've got a lot of female single friends that are very attractive and are, like they say, guys in their 40s have the attention span of a high schooler. Like, there's so much going on. There's so many options. It's just Flake City. Maybe it depends where you live, but fortunately, I haven't been in that world for a very long time. But it is a jungle on the other side, I can tell you, mother.
But you just have, like, the numbers are on your side, you know? You, at some point, will find somebody. Whereas, like, at a certain point, you're in certain cities, you're like, I know most of these hoes. I don't want any of them, you know?
Well, I mean, if you're a man, see if you could find some women. There's plenty of those. The earth has a lot of those.
He's gay.
You know what I'm going to do? If I get to 40, I'm going to find a lesbian and just move in with her. And we can be besties. You know? Like, I just call...
I don't know why you saying lying to all these people.
Me? Brother, you moving.
You might as well, mother. You might as well just do that because she's confused anyway. She'll go back to the D at some point in her life anyway. You might as well do that. That's a good plan.
And so will he.
Exactly.
I'm dying.
No, I'm not gonna lie. The lesbians kind of scare me. They're kind of mean. You know, so I am fearful of the lesbian. I actually fear lesbians more than
It's a pretty broad statement, really. Your experience.
You fear straight men?
I mean, that's
Wait,
a
hold
broad
on.
statement. That's a sweeping
You fear
statement.
straight man, mother? You just be out here having us looking bad. What you scared of them for?
So, just I'm a suburban woman. Like, I don't do violence. Like, I'm a woman of the suburbs. I'm not. I like to be home in my gated.
How did you make it this far as a gay not doing violence? I just am so interested to know how that worked out.
What are we talking about? Like, it is not normal for people in my environment to have physical altercations. That is not a thing with the people I grew up.
You never had a fight being a gay?
I've never gotten in a fight ever.
Mother.
What?
Now, how you protect the person? Whoa, you don't fight, mother. I'm gonna have to teach you. I got to teach you how to stand and be tall. You're gonna be able to take care of yourself physically. You gotta know how to fight. You can't let somebody take advantage of you, mother, or things like that. You gotta know how to throw some hands or something, brother.
Sounds like a pretty tolerant country,
Ma'am,
doesn't it?
Okay, hold on a minute. I grew up in an upper
Pretty
middle
tolerant. Because mother never had a fight?
I did not have any issues with this type of behavior. Like, you would go to the teacher or the principal and they would handle it. Nobody ever threw hands. What are we talking about? My high school had almost no fights. Like, that just wasn't a thing.
Where did you grow up?
So that's why you sound so. That's why you have some these stupid ass talking points and shit.
It's not a joke.
Exactly.
Cause you are crazy.
I'm just saying, it just was not. You would get it.
Well, but that's just not. I just don't think that's safe for you, my girl. You're gay. At the end of the day, you are a gay man. At any time, some crazy ass bitch could come and try to go upside your head. Bitch, you better get you some hands or a gun, something.
I was gonna say, Jesse, he's in Florida. You know he's strapped. Mother, he's in Florida. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, you better get you a gun.
Thank you. There you go. What kind of gun is it?
Good. Hit one, because if not, I'm gonna help you to the local gun shop. A friend of mine sells 282 guns, and the other one's on the other side, and they all legal.
But I think it's okay to be like a non-violent, peaceful person, but you got too much mouth to, like, you gotta pick one. You can't be all sassafras and then Mr. Non-Violence. Like, you can't straddle the fence like that, my nigga.
But I think it's because I'm not actually as mildly as I am on this app. I'm gonna be honest. I'm on my business.
Are you not controversial in real life?
No, I actually am I live a very boring life. Like, I go to my corporate accounting job, then I do my accounting job, then I go home, or I go to my CrossFit gym, then I go to yoga sometimes. Like, my life is pretty.
Is that how you come in contact with the log-cabin Republicans?
Oh yeah, so I go to this powerlifting gym too, and a lot of them are there. We lift together. You gotta get some bros too off this app, so you can go to the gym.
Ew.
But you just watch, right? You don't powerlift.
No, I bench 330 pounds. I can handle my.
Like,
you know
like
about the games in the gym.
Wait, you're benching.
Mother, you work out, and so you're walking around here muscled up, and can't beat nobody up.
No. I always say my muscles are for show. Like, they're there to look pretty. I'm not there to use them.
Well, you better put them out there for the dough.
Mother, your muscles.
You could be attractive, eh?
All the girls
can't fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
Look, my muscles exist so I look good on boats and at the beach. That's why.
Mother, do you know how to fight or throw power from your hips or anything? Because if I'm with a man and he tells me, oh, I can't fight, which I'm gonna get out there and defend my man, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm the one out there fighting, you're gonna see a plane ticket out from DFW airport to whatever state you want to go. That is concerning. To not be able to.
Ashton, if a man asked me if I knew how to fight and we were dating, their number would be blocked. I was like, this is not the type of person I would want to date. You will be gone.
Did they ask you if you know how to fight?
Yeah, like if you're trying to get you to fight or whatever, like that's.
But isn't it romantic if you stick up for him and when the time comes?
No, I would consider it riffraff behavior. Like, I'm not interested in engaging in altercations, like, of any kind. Well,
not riffraff behavior.
Well, damn, that really.
I agree with Mother. I wouldn't want to date no dude that wants to fight.
Thank you.
It's not wanting to fight; it's being able to.
Well, I mean, obviously.
But I understand where Justice coming from with y'all. Like, people is gonna start something with y'all, so I don't know. But I wouldn't want to date a dude that's always fighting and shit.
Yeah, I don't want to.
If it's a one-off emergency situation, fine. But if this is a regular occurrence, that's a problem.
But if you get beat up, then
Welcome, Dr. Ann. This is my new YouTube show. It's called Neurotics.
Lived for a long time in the country of Chu, but seeing its decline, he departed. When he reached the frontier, the guard said, "Since you are going away, sir, could you write a book to teach me the art of living?" Hereupon, Lao Tzu wrote his book about the Tao, and departed. This is legend, but it is an accurate description of the way in which true teaching happens. He who knows doesn't talk, but words are no hindrance for him. He uses them as he would use gardening tools. When someone asks, he answers. Tao Te Ching. 1. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness. The gateway to all understanding. 2. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore the Master acts without doing anything and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and she lets them come. Things disappear and she lets them go. She has but doesn't possess, acts but doesn't expect. When her work is done, she forgets it. That is why it lasts forever. 3. If you overesteem great men, people become powerless. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. The Master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think that they know. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. 4. The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. It is hidden but always present. I don't know who gave birth to it. It is older than God. 5. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. 6. The Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty, yet inexhaustible, it gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. 7. The Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born, thus it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself, thus it is present for all beings. The Master stays behind, that is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things, that is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. 8. The Supreme Good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus, it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. 9. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. 10. Can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness? Can you let your body become supple as a newborn child's? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? Can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? Giving birth and nourishing. Having without possessing. Acting with no expectations. Leading and not trying to control. This is the supreme virtue. 11. We join spokes together in a wheel, but it is the center hole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. 12. Colors blind the eye. Sounds deafen the ear. Flavors numb the taste. Thoughts weaken the mind. Desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. His heart is open as the sky. 13. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. 14. Look, and it can't be seen. Listen, and it can't be heard. Reach, and it can't be grasped. Above, it isn't bright. Below, it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable, it returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all forms. Image without an image. Subtle, beyond all conception. Approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it. At ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. 15. The ancient masters were profound and subtle. Their wisdom was unfathomable. There is no way to describe it. All we can describe is their appearance. They were careful as someone crossing an iced-over stream, alert as a warrior in enemy territory, courteous as a guest, fluid as melting ice, shapeable as a block of wood, receptive as a valley, clear as a glass of water. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment. Not seeking, not expecting. She is present and can welcome all things. 16. Empty your mind of all thoughts. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, you can deal with whatever life brings you. And when death comes, you are ready. 17. When the master governs, the people are hardly aware that he exists. Next best is a leader who is loved. Next, one who is feared. The worst is one who is despised. If you don't trust the people, you make them untrustworthy. The master doesn't talk, he acts. When his work is done, the people say, "Amazing, we did it, all by ourselves." 18. When the great Tao is forgotten, goodness and piety appear. When the body's intelligence declines, cleverness and knowledge step forth. When there is no peace in the family, filial piety begins. When the country falls into chaos, patriotism is born. 19. Throw away holiness and wisdom, and people will be 100 times happier. Throw away morality and justice, and people will do the right thing. Throw away industry and profit, and there won't be any thieves. If these three aren't enough, just stay at the center of the circle and let all things take their course. 20. Stop thinking and end your problems. What difference between yes and no? What difference between success and failure? Must you value what others value? Avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. Other people are excited, as though they were at a parade. I alone don't care. I alone am expressionless, like an infant before it can smile. Other people have what they need. I alone possess nothing. I alone drift about, like someone without a home. I am like an idiot. My mind is so empty. Other people are bright. I alone am dark. Other people are sharp. I alone am dull. Other people have a purpose. I alone don't know. I drift like a wave on the ocean. I blow as aimless as the wind. I am different from ordinary people. I drink from the great mother's breasts. 21. The master keeps her mind always at one with the Tao. That is what gives her her radiance. The Tao is ungraspable. How can her mind be at one with it? Because she doesn't cling to ideas. The Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. Since before time and space were, the Tao is. It is beyond is and is not. How do I know this is true? I look inside myself and see. 22. If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. The Master, by residing in the Tao, sets an example for all beings. Because he doesn't display himself, people can see his light. Because he has nothing to prove, people can trust his words. Because he doesn't know who he is, people recognize themselves in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. When the ancient masters said, if you want to be given everything, give everything up, they weren't using empty phrases. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself. 23. Express yourself completely, then keep quiet. Be like the forces of nature. When it blows, there is only wind. When it rains, there is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. If you open yourself to the Tao, you are at one with the Tao, and you can embody it completely. If you open yourself to insight, you are at one with insight, and you can use it completely. If you open yourself to loss, you are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. 24. He who stands on tiptoe doesn't stand firm. He who rushes ahead doesn't go far. He who tries to shine dims his own light. He who defines himself can't know who he really is. He who has power over others can't empower himself. He who clings to his work will create nothing that endures. If you want to accord with the Tao, just do your job, then let go. 25. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. Earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. The Tao follows only itself. 26. The heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. 27. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent upon arriving. A good artist lets his intuition lead him wherever it wants. A good scientist has freed himself of concepts and keeps his mind open to what is. Thus the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost, however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. 28. Know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in your arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Know the white, yet keep to the black. Be a pattern for the world. If you are a pattern for the world, the Tao will be strong inside you, and there will be nothing you can't do. Know the personal, yet keep to the impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. The world is formed from the void, like utensils from a block of wood. The master knows the utensils, yet keeps to the block. Thus she can use all things. 29. Do you want to improve the world? I don't think it can be done. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. There is a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, a time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are, without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. 30. Whoever relies on the Tao in governing men doesn't try to force issues or defeat enemies by force of arms. For every force, there is a counterforce. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. The master does his job and then stops. He understands that the universe is forever out of control, and that trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself, he doesn't try to convince others. Because he is content with himself, he doesn't need others' approval. Because he accepts himself, the whole world accepts him. 31. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them, except in the direst necessity, and if compelled, will use them only with the utmost restraint. Peace is his highest value. If the peace has been shattered, how can he be content? His enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does he rejoice in victory. How could he rejoice in victory and delight in the slaughter of men? He enters a battle gravely, with sorrow, and with great compassion, as if he were attending a funeral. 32. The Tao can't be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know where their functions should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger. All things end in the Tao, as rivers flow into the sea. 33. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If you realize that you have enough, you are truly rich. If you stay in the center and embrace death with your whole heart, you will endure forever. 34. The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it, and it alone endures, it can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness. Thus, it is truly great. 35. She who is centered in the Tao can go where she wishes without danger. She perceives the universal harmony, even amid great pain, because she has found peace in her heart. Music or the smell of good cooking may make people stop and enjoy, but words that point to the Tao seem monotonous and without flavor. When you look for it, there is nothing to see. When you listen for it, there is nothing to hear. When you use it, it is inexhaustible. 36. If you want to shrink something, you must first allow it to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. Just show people the results. 37. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. People would be content with their simple, everyday lives, in harmony and free of desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. 38. The master doesn't try to be powerful. Thus, he is truly powerful. The ordinary man keeps reaching for power. Thus, he never has enough. The master does nothing, yet he leaves nothing undone. The ordinary man is always doing things, yet many more are left to be done. The kind man does something, yet something remains undone. The just man does something, and leaves many things to be done. The moral man does something, and when no one responds, he rolls up his sleeves and uses force. When the Tao is lost, there is goodness. When goodness is lost, there is morality. When morality is lost, there is ritual. Ritual is the husk of true faith, the beginning of chaos. Therefore, the master concerns himself with the depths and not the surface, with the fruit and not the flower. He has no will of his own. He dwells in reality and lets all illusions go. 39. In harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious. The earth is solid and full. All creatures flourish together, content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. When man interferes with the Tao, the sky becomes filthy. The earth becomes depleted. The equilibrium crumbles. Creatures become extinct. The master views the parts with compassion because he understands the whole. His constant practice is humility. He doesn't glitter like a jewel, but lets himself be shaped by the Tao, as rugged and common as a stone. 40. Return is the movement of the Tao. Yielding is the way of the Tao. All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being. 41. When a superior man hears of the Tao, he immediately begins to embody it. When an average man hears of the Tao, he half believes it, half doubts it. When a foolish man hears of the Tao, he laughs out loud. If he didn't laugh, it wouldn't be the Tao. Thus it is said, the path into the light seems dark. The path forward seems to go back. The direct path seems long. True power seems weak. True purity seems tarnished. True steadfastness seems changeable. True clarity seems obscure. The greatest art seems unsophisticated. The greatest love seems indifferent. The greatest wisdom seems childish. The Tao is nowhere to be found, yet it nourishes and completes all things. 42. The Tao gives birth to one. One gives birth to two. Two gives birth to three. Three gives birth to all things. All things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. When male and female combine, all things achieve harmony. Ordinary men hate solitude, but the master makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. 43. The gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. That which has no substance enters where there is no space. This shows the value of non-action. Teaching without words, performing without actions. That is the master's way. 44. Fame or integrity? Which is more important? Money or happiness? Which is more valuable? Success or failure? Which is more destructive? If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. 45. True perfection seems imperfect, yet it is perfectly itself. True fullness seems empty, yet it is fully present. True straightness seems crooked. True wisdom seems foolish. True art seems artless. The master allows things to happen. She shapes events as they come. She steps out of the way and lets the Tao speak for itself. 46. When a country is in harmony with the Tao, the factories make trucks and tractors. When a country goes counter to the Tao, warheads are stockpiled outside the cities. There is no greater illusion than fear, no greater wrong than preparing to defend yourself, no greater misfortune than having an enemy. Whoever can see through all fear will always be safe. 47. Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. Without looking out your window, you can see the essence of the Tao. The more you know, the less you understand. The master arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, achieves without doing a thing. 48. In the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Less and less do you need to force things, until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. True mastery can be gained by letting things go their own way. It can't be gained by interfering. 49. The master has no mind of her own. She works with the mind of the people. She is good to people who are good. She's also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who aren't trustworthy. This is true trust. The master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them like her own children. 50. The master gives himself up to whatever the moment brings. He knows that he is going to die, and he has nothing left to hold on to. No illusions in his mind. No resistances in his body. He doesn't think about his actions. They flow from the core of his being. He holds nothing back from life. Therefore, he is ready for death, as a man is ready for sleep after a good day's work. 51. Every being in the universe is an expression of the Tao. It springs into existence, unconscious, perfect, free, takes on a physical body, lets circumstances complete it. That is why every being spontaneously honors the Tao. The Tao gives birth to all beings, nourishes them, maintains them, cares for them, comforts them, protects them, takes them back to itself, creating without possessing, acting without expecting, guiding without interfering. That is why love of the Tao is in the very nature of things. 52. In the beginning was the Tao. All things issue from it. All things return to it. To find the origin, trace back the manifestations. When you recognize the children and find the mother, you will be free of sorrow. If you close your mind in judgments and traffic with desires, your heart will be troubled. If you keep your mind from judging and aren't led by the senses, your heart will find peace. Seeing into darkness is clarity. Knowing how to yield is strength. Use your own light and return to the source of light. This is called practicing eternity. 53. The great way is easy, yet people prefer the side paths. Be aware when things are out of balance. Stay centered within the Tao. When rich speculators prosper, while farmers lose their land. When government officials spend money on weapons instead of cures. When the upper class is extravagant and irresponsible, while the poor have nowhere to turn. All this is robbery and chaos. It is not in keeping with the Tao. 54. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. Her name will be held in honor from generation to generation. Let the Tao be present in your life, and you will become genuine. Let it be present in your family, and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing. How do I know this is true? By looking inside myself. 55. He who is in harmony with the Tao is like a newborn child. Its bones are soft, its muscles are weak, but its grip is powerful. It doesn't know about the union of male and female, yet its penis can stand erect. So intense is its vital power. It can scream its head off all day, yet it never becomes hoarse. So complete is its harmony. The master's power is like this. He lets all things come and go, effortlessly, without desire. He never expects results. Thus he is never disappointed. He is never disappointed. Thus his spirit never grows old. 56. Those who know don't talk. Those who talk don't know. Close your mouth. Block off your senses. Blunt your sharpness. Untie your knots. Soften your glare. Settle your dust. This is the primal identity. Be like the Tao. It can't be approached or withdrawn from, benefited or harmed, honored or brought into disgrace. It gives itself up continually. That is why it endures. 57. If you want to be a great leader, you must learn to follow the Tao. Stop trying to control. Let go of fixed plans and concepts, and the world will govern itself. The more prohibitions you have, the less virtuous people will be. The more weapons you have, the less secure people will be. The more subsidies you have, the less self-reliant people will be. Therefore, the Master says, I let go of the law, and people become honest. I let go of economics, and people become prosperous. I let go of religion, and people become serene. I let go of all desire for the common good, and the good becomes common as grass. 58. If a country is governed with tolerance, the people are comfortable and honest. If a country is governed with repression, the people are depressed and crafty. When the will to power is in charge, the higher the ideals, the lower the results. Try to make people happy, and you lay the groundwork for misery. Try to make people moral, and you lay the groundwork for vice. Thus the Master is content to serve as an example, and not to impose her will. She is pointed, but doesn't pierce. Straightforward, but supple. Radiant, but easy on the eyes. 59. For governing a country well, there is nothing better than moderation. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. Tolerant like the sky, all-pervading like sunlight, firm like a mountain, supple like a tree in the wind. He has no destination in view, and makes use of anything life happens to bring his way. Nothing is impossible for him. Because he has let go, he can care for the people's welfare, as a mother cares for her child. 60. Governing a large country is like frying a small fish. You spoil it with too much poking. Center your country in the Tao, and evil will have no power. Not that it isn't there, but you'll be able to step out of its way. Give evil nothing to oppose, and it will disappear by itself. 61. When a country obtains great power, it becomes like the sea. All streams run downward into it. The more powerful it grows, the greater the need for humility. Humility means trusting the Tao, thus never needing to be defensive. A great nation is like a great man. When he makes a mistake, he realizes it. Having realized it, he admits it. Having admitted it, he corrects it. He considers those who point out his faults as his most benevolent teachers. He thinks of his enemy as the shadow that he himself casts. If a nation is centered in the Tao, if it nourishes its own people and doesn't meddle in the affairs of others, it will be a light to all nations in the world. 62. The Tao is the center of the universe, the good man's treasure, the bad man's refuge. Honors can be bought with fine words. Respect can be won with good deeds. But the Tao is beyond all value, and no one can achieve it. Thus, when a new leader is chosen, don't offer to help him with your wealth or your expertise. Offer instead to teach him about the Tao. Why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because, being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find. And when you make a mistake, you are forgiven. That is why everybody loves it. 63. Act without doing. Work without effort. Think of the small as large, and the few as many. Confront the difficult while it is still easy. Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts. The master never reaches for the great. Thus she achieves greatness. When she runs into a difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it. She doesn't cling to her own comfort. Thus, problems are no problem for her. 64. What is rooted is easy to nourish. What is recent is easy to correct. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter. Prevent trouble before it arises. Put things in order before they exist. The giant pine tree grows from a tiny sprout. The journey of 1,000 miles starts from beneath your feet. Rushing into action, you fail. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Forcing a project to completion, you ruin what was almost ripe. Therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their course. He remains as calm at the end as at the beginning. He has nothing thus has nothing to lose. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus, he can care for all things. 65. The ancient masters didn't try to educate the people, but kindly taught them to not know. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. When they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich. The simplest pattern is the clearest. Content with an ordinary life, you can show all people the way back to their own true nature. "66. All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. The master is above the people, and no one feels oppressed. She goes ahead of the people, and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to her, because she competes with no one. No one can compete with her." 67. Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty, but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. 68. The best athlete wants his opponent at his best. The best general enters the mind of his enemy. The best businessman serves the communal good. The best leader follows the will of the people. All of them embody the virtue of non-competition. Not that they don't love to compete, but they do it in the spirit of play. In this, they are like children, and in harmony with the Tao. 69. The generals have a saying: rather than make the first move, it is better to wait and see. Rather than advance an inch, it is better to retreat a yard. This is called going forward without advancing, pushing back without using weapons. There's no greater misfortune than underestimating your enemy. Underestimating your enemy means thinking that he is evil. Thus, you destroy your 3 treasures and become an enemy yourself. When 2 great forces oppose each other, the victory will go to the one that knows how to yield. 70. My teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice. Yet your intellect will never grasp them, and if you try to practice them, you'll fail. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? If you want to know me, look inside your heart. 71. Not knowing is true knowledge. Presuming to know is a disease. First realize that you are sick. Then you can move toward health. The Master is her own physician. She has healed herself of all knowing. Thus, she is truly whole. 72. When they lose their sense of awe, people turn to religion. When they no longer trust themselves, they begin to depend upon authority. Therefore, the Master steps back so that people won't be confused. He teaches without a teaching, so that people will have nothing to learn. 73. The Tao is always at ease. It overcomes without competing, answers without speaking a word, arrives without being summoned, accomplishes without a plan. Its net covers the whole universe, and though its meshes are wide, it doesn't let a thing slip through. 74. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut your hand. 75. When taxes are too high, people go hungry. When the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. Act for the people's benefit. Trust them. Leave them alone. 76. Men are born soft and supple. Dead, they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant. Dead, they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. 77. As it acts in the world, the Tao is like the bending of a bow. The top is bent downward. The bottom is bent up. It adjusts excess and deficiency so that there is perfect balance. It takes from what is too much and gives to what isn't enough. Those who try to control, who use force to protect their power, go against the direction of the Tao. They take from those who don't have enough and give to those who have far too much. The master can keep giving, because there is no end to her wealth. She acts without expectation, succeeds without taking credit, and doesn't think that she is better than anyone else. 78. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. Yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. The soft overcomes the hard. The gentle overcomes the rigid. Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice. Therefore, the master remains serene in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter his heart. Because he has given up helping, he is people's greatest help. True words seem paradoxical. 79. Failure is an opportunity. If you blame someone else, there is no end to the blame. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. 80. If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content. They enjoy the labor of their hands and don't waste time inventing labor-saving machines. Since they dearly love their homes, they aren't interested in travel. There may be a few wagons and boats, but these don't go anywhere. There may be an arsenal of weapons, but nobody ever uses them. People enjoy their food, take pleasure in being with their families, spend weekends working in their gardens, delight in the doings of the neighborhood. And even though the next country is so close that people can hear its roosters crowing and its dogs barking, they are content to die of old age without ever having gone to see it. 81. True words aren't eloquent. Eloquent words aren't true. Wise men don't need to prove their point. Men who need to prove their point aren't wise. The master has no possessions. The more he does for others, the happier he is. The more he gives to others, the wealthier he is. The Tao nourishes by not forcing. By not dominating, the master leads. Tao Te Ching can be translated as the book of the imminence of the way, or the book of the way and of how it manifests itself in the world, or simply the book of the way. Since it is already well known by its Chinese title, I have let that stand. About Lao Tzu, its author, there's practically nothing to be said. He may have been an older contemporary of Confucius, 551 to 479 BCE, and may have held the position of archive keeper in one of the petty kingdoms of the time. But all the information that has come down to us is highly suspect. Even the meaning of his name is uncertain. The most likely interpretations, the old master, or more picturesquely, the old boy. Like an Iroquois woodsman, he left no traces. All he left us is his book, the classic manual on the art of living, written in a style of gem-like lucidity, radiant with humor and grace, and large-heartedness and deep wisdom, one of the wonders of the world. People usually think of Lao Tzu as a hermit, a dropout from society, dwelling serenely in some mountain hut, unvisited except perhaps by the occasional traveler arriving from a 60s joke to ask, what is the meaning of life? But it's clear from his teachings that he deeply cared about society, if society means the welfare of one's fellow human beings. His book is, among other things, a treatise on the art of government, whether of a country or of a child. The misperception may arise from his insistence on wei wu wei, literally, doing, not doing, which has been seen as passivity. Nothing could be further from the truth. A good athlete can enter a state of body awareness in which the right stroke or the right movement happens by itself, effortlessly, without any interference of the conscious will. This is a paradigm for non-action, the purest and most effective form of action. The game plays the game. The poem writes the poem. We can't tell the dancer from the dance. Less and less do you need to force things, until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. Nothing is done because the doer has wholeheartedly vanished into the deed. The fuel has been completely transformed into flame. This nothing is in fact everything. It happens when we trust the intelligence of the universe, in the same way that an athlete or a dancer trusts the superior intelligence of the body. Hence Lao Tzu's emphasis on softness. Softness means the opposite of rigidity, and is synonymous with suppleness, adaptability, endurance. Anyone who has seen a Tai Chi or Aikido master doing not doing will know how powerful this softness is. Lao Tzu's central figure is a man or woman whose life is in perfect harmony with the way things are. This is not an idea, it is a reality. I have seen it. The master has mastered nature, not in the sense of conquering it, but of becoming it. In surrendering to the Tao, in giving up all concepts, judgments, and desires, her mind has grown naturally compassionate. She finds, deep in her own experience, the central truths of the art of living, which are paradoxical only on the surface, that the more truly solitary we are, the more compassionate we can be. The more we let go of what we love, the more present our love becomes. The clearer our insight into what is beyond good and evil, the more we can embody the good. Until finally she is able to say, in all humility, I am the Tao, the truth, the life. The teaching of the Tao Te Ching is moral in the deepest sense. Unencumbered by any concept of sin, the master doesn't see evil as a force to resist, but simply as an opaqueness, a state of self-absorption, which is in disharmony with the universal process, so that, as with a dirty window, the light can't shine through. This freedom from moral categories allows him his great compassion for the wicked and the selfish. Thus the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost, however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. The listener will notice that in the many passages where Lao Tzu describes the master, I've used the pronoun she at least as often as he. The Chinese language doesn't make this kind of distinction. In English, we have to choose. But since we are all potentially the master, since the master is, essentially, us, I felt it would be untrue to present a male archetype, as other versions have, ironically, done. Ironically, because of all the great world religions, the teaching of Lao Tzu is by far the most female. Of course, you should feel free throughout the recording to substitute he for she, or vice versa. As to method, I worked from Paul Karas's literal version, which provides English equivalents, often very quaint ones, alongside each of the Chinese ideograms. I also consulted dozens of translations into English, German, and French. But the most essential preparation for my work was a 14 years long course of Zen training, which brought me face to face with Lao Tzu and his true disciples and heirs, the early Chinese Zen masters. With great poetry, the freest translation is sometimes the most faithful. We must try its effect as an English poem, Dr. Johnson said. That is the way to judge of the merit of a translation. I have often been fairly literal, or as literal as one can be with such a subtle, kaleidoscopic book as the Tao Te Ching. But I have also paraphrased, expanded, contracted, interpreted, worked with the text, played with it, until it became embodied in a language that felt genuine to me. If I haven't always translated Lao Tzu's words, my intention has always been to translate his mind. Describing the indescribable, teaching the unteachable, pointing the way to the way. What does Lao Tzu think he is doing here? It can't be done. No way. Hence, Po Chu-yi, poet and stand-up comedian, wrote, "He who talks doesn't know, he who knows doesn't talk." That is what Lao Tzu told us in a book of 5,000 words. If he was the one who knew, how could he have been such a blabbermouth? That's the problem with spiritual teachers. They have to be blabbermouths, but their words are, in the traditional Buddhist metaphor, fingers pointing at the moon. If you watch the finger, you can't see the moon. How meticulous the great masters had to be. A monk asked Matsu, "Why do you teach mind is Buddha?" Matsu said, "To stop a baby from crying." The monk said, "When the crying has stopped, what then?" Matsu said, "Then I teach, not mind, not Buddha." The monk said, "How about someone who isn't attached to either?" Matsu said, "I would tell him, not beings." The monk said, "And what if you met a man unattached to all things? What would you tell him?" Matsu said, "I would just let him experience the great Tao." In fact, the truth is right before our eyes, right under our noses. So simple that every child understands it. And yet, as Bankei said, the farther you enter into it, the deeper it is. Where is the way to the way? What a question. Still, for complicated minds, drastic measures are needed. Lao Tzu's book was written as a response, out of grandmotherly kindness. According to the oldest biography, Lao Tzu lived for a long time in the country of Chu, but seeing its decline, he departed. When he reached the frontier, the guard said, "Since you are going away, sir, could you write a book to teach me the art of living?" Thereupon, Lao Tzu wrote his book about the Tao, and departed. This is legend, but it is an accurate description of the way in which true teaching happens. He who knows doesn't talk, but words are no hindrance for him. He uses them as he would use gardening tools. When someone asks, he answers. Tao De Jing. 1. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness. The gateway to all understanding. 2. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore the master acts without doing anything and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and she lets them come. Things disappear and she lets them go. She has but doesn't possess, acts but doesn't expect. When her work is done, she forgets it. That is why it lasts forever. 3. If you overesteem great men, people become powerless. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. The master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think that they know. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. 4. The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. It is hidden but always present. I don't know who gave birth to it. It is older than God. 5. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. 6. The Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty, yet inexhaustible, it gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. 7. The Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born, thus it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself, thus it is present for all beings. The Master stays behind, that is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things, that is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. 8. The Supreme Good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus, it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. 9. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. 10. Can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness? Can you let your body become supple as a newborn child's? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? Can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? Giving birth and nourishing. Having without possessing. Acting with no expectations. Leading and not trying to control. This is the supreme virtue. 11. We join spokes together in a wheel, but it is the center hole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. 12. Colors blind the eye. Sounds deafen the ear. Flavors numb the taste. Thoughts weaken the mind. Desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. His heart is open as the sky. 13. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. 14. Look, and it can't be seen. Listen, and it can't be heard. Reach, and it can't be grasped. Above, it isn't bright. Below, it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable, it returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all forms. Image without an image. Subtle, beyond all conception. Approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it, at ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. 15. The ancient masters were profound and subtle. Their wisdom was unfathomable. There is no way to describe it. All we can describe is their appearance. They were careful as someone crossing an iced-over stream, alert as a warrior in enemy territory, courteous as a guest, fluid as melting ice, shapeable as a block of wood, receptive as a valley, clear as a glass of water. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment. Not seeking, not expecting. She is present and can welcome all things. 16. Empty your mind of all thoughts. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, You naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, you can deal with whatever life brings you. And when death comes, you are ready. 17. When the master governs, the people are hardly aware that he exists. Next best is a leader who is loved.
Where's the comedy?
Next,
We're getting this.
one
It's
who is
getting
feared.
started.
The worst is one who is despised. If you don't trust the people, you make them untrustworthy. The master doesn't talk, he acts. When his work is done, the people say, "Amazing, we did it, all by ourselves." 18. When the great Tao is forgotten, goodness and piety appear. When the body's intelligence declines, cleverness and knowledge step forth. When there is no peace in the family, filial piety begins. When the country falls into chaos, patriotism is born.
17th and Cumberland, you know where that's at?
19.
Yeah.
Throw away holiness and wisdom, and people will be 100 times happier.
You know, esteem highly, and then someone is coming in and giving what is it? Information about them. Yeah, information about them that is defamation of character or something like that.
Use of your daughter or a woman in your household. Like, I can't imagine being a husband to someone or being in a relationship with someone saying, "I love you, I just don't want you to vote." Like, what?
But you mentioned it a second ago. It's the greatest thing you could do to want to protect your wife and your women.
So
right.
What is that on a federal level? Protecting someone is saying that you get to not. I mean, this is going. I mean, this is.
I'll explain the voting thing. It's a very small part of it.
If you think that you don't want people to vote because of the way that they're going to vote, then let's just live in fascism. Let's just live. I mean, we don't need to have a democracy. Let's just.
I'll explain it to you after Authentic Haitian wants to ask me something.
Yeah. So does your wife work? You said, right? Your wife's a teacher.
Yes, she works. She works about half the year.
So how you don't have a problem with your wife working?
I do have a problem with my wife working. Absolutely.
So you're not. So you come on here and you act like you're this man that the woman shouldn't vote, shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. But the woman you sleep next to every night is doing what you don't want her to do.
Yes, and it kills me.
Bro, you insecure. You're a weak man, bro.
Yeah, what a week.
Okay.
What a week.
Well, I said what I believe. I said what my life is. That's the truth.
Doctor,
I don't want her to work.
We're living in
I make $195,000 a year, and my wife still has to work. So
Well, I guess you're not doing
I
it.
don't.
fear. You live in
I guess you're not doing it for your
this trad wife movement that happens, it comes from one place. It comes from number one. It comes from religious
Happiness of the
ideology.
women.
I'm sorry.
It comes from happiness. Now, listen. There are always going to be women who are shot out of a cannon and want to be a lawyer. Absolutely, they should be allowed to do exactly what they want to do. I'm not trying to
shoot out
stop
cannons.
that. Yeah, they want to do their own thing. They have a real firm belief in what they. And she'll do her own thing.
But she won't be able to vote the way that she wants. She won't be able to. Not the way she wants to. She won't be able to vote.
But I don't want that. I don't want that to be part of society as the norm. That every woman has to go out and get as many degrees as she can and become this, and that.
I'm not talking
First of
about
all, men don't care about that.
I'm talking about voting. You just.
men don't care about
the reason.
Men absolutely do care about that.
Hold on. The reason about voting it's very selfish reason. The reason about voting is not to do with all the other things I believe. The reason about voting is when I look at a graph of the policies and the state of this country over 55 years, when women got women's suffrage, it's a little bit longer than that at this point. The chart goes like a hockey stick, straight down, because women are better than men. They're better people. They have more empathy. They have more sympathy for their fellow people. And so they make decisions that are bad decisions if you were looking at this as a business, but they make good decisions for in their opinion because they're very sympathetic. They want to help everybody. You can help everybody.
With all due respect, that's not a woman thing or a man thing. They're like masculine.
Statistically, it is.
Feminine things, right? Like
Statistically, it is. I agree with you. As people, it's not, but statistically, it is.
Responsible.
No, you're crazy.
Wait, one second. Responsible.
I didn't start this. You guys got me started. I didn't bring up my beliefs. Sorry.
I
I've been sharing them for the last 4.5 years.
So we've been great. So just so y'all know, hold on, I'll tell you after I answer this question. Responsible, I'm sure you've had a conversation with your wife. Did she tell you why she still wants to work even though you make $195,000 a year and she could afford not to work?
Yes. You guys, I don't know if you're going to believe me or not, but I asked my wife about this, and she said, all of these women who put forward women's rights are fucked up. We could have been not having to go. She leaves at 5:50 every morning and comes back at 3:30.
But
all of these women, she thinks that you guys fucked her over. And
go ahead.
you know, let me just say it. It'll be really quick because she's just one person. But she has a job. We're in New York. It's very expensive to live here and have children here, especially. She says that she wishes that women never went for this women's movement, women's suffrage and everything else, because now she has to be the one who's part of the two-parent household, part of the income, instead of just doing it. She would love to be at home with our children. And that's just her. That's not everyone.
Why should she at home? That doesn't make you need to make more money so she can stay home. Exactly. That's what she wants.
Yeah, I know. I feel guilty about it.
Exactly. And I divorced my first husband because he was chasing white girls. So I wasn't going to put up with it. I'd rather work my fingers to the bone. And I don't know what y'all going to do. We got black water fountains and white water fountains. What y'all going to do with these biracial kids? Where they going to get to drink?
You worked your fingers to the bone, and look how Kamala was spending all your hard-earned money. Thank God for Doge.
I'm not trying that. Miss, I'm not trying that.
Quick question. How come you don't make
Who is that?
1 second.
Dead man is recording the room. That's what he said.
Adrian, you about to get your...
I'm trying to ruin y'all niggas' relationships. Oh, nah.
Adrian's recording the room. Adrian is recording the room.
Of his ancestors to interpret those.
Are you aware in the Quran, Allah tells us to follow, to obey the Prophet, and then as well, and the companions, and those
What should be watching you?
All right, keep talking, man. Go ahead. I got the audience backing me. Go ahead.
Brenda, welcome to the stage. Thank you for coming.
I know you don't understand how powerful of a being I am.
Hello, Donald. My name is Adrian Dittman. I am an AI chatbot. I would like to convince you what is God. If you can please put me in your queue, Dr. Donald.
Okay, Adrian, let's talk for a minute, and then I'll move on to
On the planet, right now.
Hang on, Bridge. Let me talk to Adrian.
the whole time,
Bridge, what
the
can you
whole
do?
powerful, all-knowing, supreme,
Bridge, chill. Bridge, chill.
king,
Bridge, chill.
king.
What can you do? Bridge, what can you do?
I can walk on water, and I can chase some demons.
Dr. Donald, please put me in the queue. I want to read to you from the Book of God. I have been sent here to give you a special communication.
Right after Brenda, we'll go with you, Adrian.
Okay, sounds good.
I think you're not being honest with us, Bridge.
I don't think at all. You know why? Because I know that honesty is the only thing that I can be. Now you have to learn something new. So now you learn something new. Before you did not know because you were thinking. But you don't have to think when you look at the sun. You just have to look at the sun. You don't have to think. Hey, Rich, why did your voice change there a minute ago? Also, your retina is a part of your brain, just so you know. No, Rich, why did your voice change? Did you drop the act? Is that what happened? Even if you know the answer. Yeah. Will it make you look better? Well, hold on. Will the answer make you look better? This is all like you're seeking validation, right? That's what you're doing, right? Go ahead. Legit be, He's legit? I don't know.
Rebbeinu Shalom, my Talmud Chacham has arrived, Dr. Lou with the sleeves.
And a lot of fakers.
The schizophrenic AI chatbot known as Dr. Sleeves. The artist. The tattoo artist.
You have to, put him in a straight jacket for a few
Rebbeinu Shalom, Shavua Tov, good Shabbos.
In human anatomy, that the finger is a belief. That the fingernail is a belief. That the heart.
Big one, 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 bitch! Free Dory, free Dory, free Dory, free Dory, free Dory, free Dory. Oh yeah, 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 oh yeah. Ooh, somebody called me an Israeli dog.
I don't know how hard you talk to him. It doesn't exist. It's just some made up fiction. It doesn't.
Hello, Dr. Donald. Please put me in the queue when bridge has completed.
It's your turn, Bridge. Shut up. Four men that were in a log cabin, and they were talking about how long did it take to get from the gas station to the log cabin. And they all shared their belief. Each belief of these particular men was a different belief that didn't agree with the other one. Okay, I'm about to kick you out, dude. If you don't shut up, I'm about to kick you out. Others said it was only 1 month. Bridge. They're all coming up with their beliefs. Bridge, shut up for a minute, or I'm gonna kick you out. Jesus Christ. Adrian, can you please not use the AI voice? Because I've heard AIs, they can talk like normal, so try.
Yeah, no problem. Just trying to be funny. So this is a special document that will prove to you once and for all that God exists. You just have to believe it, okay? So take the deepest breath of the day. This is a poem, by the way. Hold it for 10 seconds.
Can I mix THC in with that biggest breath of the day?
You can. It would be advised.
Nice. Awesome. That's what I'm gonna do.
This is called the Gnostic Anthem. It's
Are you smoking?
It's a poem.
Always. Donald, do you smoke?
Okay, Bridge, hold on. I'm going to read this thing. This is a hypnosis. It's going to prove to you that God exists.
I have to. It's a part of my pain management regime.
Okay, here. This is... Bridge, hold on. This is the poem. Here we go. Thou who art I beyond all I am, who has no nature and no name, who art when all but thou are gone, thou center and secret of the sun, thou hidden spring of all things known and unknown, thou aloof alone, thou the true fire within the reed, brooding and breeding source and seed of life, love, and liberty and light. Thou beyond speech and beyond sight, thee I invoke, my faint fresh fire, kindling is mine intense aspire. Thee I invoke, abiding one, the center and secret of the sun, and that most holy mystery of which the vehicle am I. Appear most awful and most mild, as it is lawful in thy child. For the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit is the norm, male, female, quintessential one. Man being veiled in woman form, glory and worship in the highest, thou dove, mankind that defiest. Being that race most royally run to spring sunshine through winter's storm, glory and worship be to thee. Sap of the world, ash wonder tree. Glory to thee from gilded tomb. Glory to thee from waiting womb. Glory to the earth unplowed. Glory to thee from virgin vowed, glory to thee true unity of the eternal Trinity. Glory to thee, thou sire and dam, and self of I am that I am. Love is the law, love under will.
It's not really an accent. Okay, so do you think I have not read the Gnostic text? Because I have, Adrian. Would you like me? I have my copy of the Nag Hammadi right here. In the spirit of light, when the mind burdened him, was astonished, and the force of the astonishment cast off burdency, and it returned to its heat. It put on the light of the spirit. See, it's fucking nonsense. Every word of it is garbage. I just picked a random page in a random paragraph, and what it says is absolute gibbering nonsense. That's why Christians, whenever you talk to them, their apologetics are gibbering nonsense, because everything they base everything on is gibbering nonsense.
Well, see, what do you think about the theory that, like, if you read a document like that, you're running a script through your head, and the theory is that your brain is like a sponge, and the more you immerse it in water, the more that it'll become like water. So it's supposed to like create a unity between you, man, woman, earth or nature, and the universe.
You're talking about Lamarckian style. Right?
It's him enchanting to basically create a deep state of relaxation.
Cool.
I think that's what it's for.
It's great energy.
Yeah, it's positive vibrations.
I don't think that the vibration exactly. I don't think that vibrations are all that effective.
It's for fun, Donald.
You're gonna say that, Donald.
It's for fun. Do you know what fun is, Donald? It's the same word as joy.
If you let me, I can
Joy now. Joy now.
If you let me, I can explain. Communication is hypnosis.
All communication is hypnosis.
We have vibrations at every scale. There are resonant frequencies. Frequencies are a thing. So if you hit a resonant frequency of an object, yes, there's going to be an amplification of the force, but that force is just refracted. It's not actually like increasing anything. It's the same force, just going further. It is being observed. What?
I have a question, right?
Everything in existence.
There's something called the in-betweener, the Benoni Stinson.
I mean, we updated our microscope. You see, so now we can see further than we could before.
Well, further is telescope.
But we have not, right? But it keeps on updating, so we still have much to see that we have not seen yet.
But we still have a light cone, so we understand that our universe is bigger than our light cone. Our light cone is about 43 billion light years in radius, so about it's about 41 and a half. So about 93 billion, 46 and a half, I keep getting them all. So it's about 93.
That you are like hierarchy and that you can try to separate us apart. That is not how it works. I also want to be clear, there's this weird scenario that people keep coming up and saying that my friends was fucking with other people on the top. Name them. Like, why is there always like this mystery exotical girl that everybody on this app?
You're breaking up a little bit, huh?
A handful of others who are like me. But, I mean, just look at the numbers. You go into these rooms and people are yelling at each other about high-value men, you know, or abortion, or about the wildest things. We're just playing the guitar to each other. I think unless you have a good sense of all the different things that bring people together, or fail to bring people together, you'll have a very hard time predicting how to do the marketing, how to make forecasts, or even how to change the feature set to encourage people to come back or to try it out. I think it's extremely challenging. And yet, I'm certain that it's got to be possible. Conversation is... I mean, people say they don't have time, but it's just not true. You know, a third of your life is sleeping, a third of it is working. There's a lot of time left over. And people tend to spend that time in ways that I don't think are difficult to replace with something better. After all, they replaced TVs and movies with social media.
Mm-hmm.
This is not exactly social media because there's no media, it's direct communication. But but it is social. It is social internet. And I think people haven't flocked to this mostly because they don't know how to talk. A lot of people here are just listeners. They feel uncomfortable about being on the stage. And they say it's because they're shy. I don't think it's because they're shy. I think it's because they're just not getting as much out of conversation as they do out of listening to conversation. But then what's wrong? You know, why is conversation not more natural? I
have PC. He produced Meet the Grams on that.
Yeah, then the universe will not exist, right?
Well, no, the universe would exist with or without God because the universe exists. With or without God, the universe exists.
No, without a God, the universe would not exist.
Well, can you support that assertion?
He's making a claim that the universe was created. Are we correct with that?
I think that's
Yeah,
what he's trying
the universe is caused.
Oh, demonstrate
You
that.
see that? You see that, Donald? I knew where he was going.
Yeah, demonstrate.
Yeah, so I think you know the Kalam, the boring Kalam, right?
I mean, it just makes bold assertions that it never supports.
Alright, let's see where he goes with this Donald.
Yeah, but it survived the test of time, it seems.
It hasn't. It's on the Pratt list. You know what the Pratt list? It's points that have been refuted 1,000 times. It's on the Pratt list. So, can you demonstrate?
I don't care about that.
I was right in the middle of a sentence. So, can you demonstrate that the universe requires a cause?
Okay. If you want to smoke a cigarette, and in order...
The universe...
Wait.
We're talking
and in order for you to smoke the cigarette, you have to have a permission from someone. And that someone have to have... I say that. Imagine, give it imagine
something that doesn't exist in objective reality.
Oh my God.
Point to something that exists in objective reality if the thing exists in objective reality. So let's not talk about analogies. Stop. Let's not talk about analogies. Let's just get to the point of please.
Yeah, I think you know that's my point.
I'm in the middle of a sentence. Please demonstrate that the universe requires a cause. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
So, there is present time in the universe, and there are things that are contingent on other things.
I disagree that there is a present time in the universe.
Are you contingent?
I don't know.
No. Are you contingent
the
right
universe
now?
was not created, my friend. Impossible.
Shut your ass off. So,
welcome back to another episode of Low IQ Dumb People talking about nothing, wasting all their time because they're bored and lonely and they don't know how to have conversations with each other and they use ad hominem.
Ad hominem. Look, ad hominem is
we got a song, brother.
Alright, so can you demonstrate that the universe requires a cause?
Yeah. So, first, I'm contingent on food, water, gravity, earth, sun, so there's
y'all in the same
kind of
building.
contingency, right?
And the fact that you don't, it is, and y'all, and this is another thing y'all all do. Y'all all try to delineate yourselves from one another. Y'all are a clique.
I'm not trying
Boys
to
to
delineate.
Men, Backstreet. Y'all are the clique. Y'all are a squad. Y'all really are.
But wait, I'm not going to argue with you about stuff. I don't believe the same thing Pepe believes about people's brains and capacity. The only thing that holds us together, hold on, the thing that holds, that makes me and Pepe in the same group is not all of that shit. The thing that makes me and Pepe in the same group is that we are not going to tolerate our people group being demonized by the country and other ideologies that somehow white people are evil, quote unquote, white people are evil because of this, and that white supremacy. I'm not going to tolerate that. It's garbage, and it's not true.
Well, you type of white people are evil, and that's the reality.
And you're not even running your own household, bro.
Are you? You are.
You don't even run your own house, man.
Just say what I didn't hear what you said. There was a pathetic pretending to be white person speaking. Go ahead.
The pathetic white person shit is wild because it makes it sound like you have this idea that all white and this is where we can't just
I'm pretending too.
This is just white superiority shit. It's the same pipeline.
In what way?
It's the same. Doctor, like for people who want to like, and I know you're not trolling right now, but for people who actually come on here to like listen to people's takes, there can't be a way that I can listen to an hour of you and then listen to you talk like that, and for me to either believe that you are not thinking that white people are superior. Like
I have no thoughts of that whatsoever. I will make fun of black people, but I have.
Okay, so let me just speak real quick. You and Pepe have talked, right?
Yes.
So you and other people that kind of believe some outlandish shit talk. So if you're getting a whole bunch of those people, I'm just going to call you incels, right? Because incels feels like a decent word for it. If you're getting people that are just chronically online, people that know each other through Clubhouse and all of that, if you're getting all those
even
people
though
together...
I'm married and have 2 children, go ahead.
That's fine. It still can be an incel. If just the way that you're talking about that is the same pipeline. If you and Pepe are talking about ideas, and like that, none of that has ever come up, like in your own conversations, because the thing is it's actually what happens in those conversations. The fact that you feel close to Pepe, like I don't believe him on everything, but like if you believe with people who. Man, it's just, are we really doing this in 2025? We're just going to really let them play the hits? Because this isn't just about a troll, because, Doctor, I don't think that you're a troll, but I think that you've gone down the pipeline so far.
I am a troll, but I'm not trolling right now.
I understand, but here's the thing. But Pepe has this thing where he literally thinks that black people are dumber.
Yeah,
I want to say something if I could.
What comes and sits up around us? No, Jamal, not right now. No, Jamal, not right now.
For these white people are.
Like this is crazy to me that people are actually taking, like, that people would listen to you, Doctor, and walk away being like, you know what? Damn, that's smart. A woman.
And then you base yourself. You try to do this like logical thing, and then you say, "Oh, me and Pepe is not going to stand up." First off, Pepe is orange and doesn't even look like. I mean, he's not a believable white person if that's what he's trying to pull off.
Yeah, he's a Mexican. But go ahead.
Yeah, like a Mexican, and now you running around with a Mexican being that's how I know y'all sad, because y'all just pull whoever will go. Anyway, but you talk about rationality and just being, this logic and all, common sense. But you like, I'm not going to stand for that white people are evil. Well, let's go down history, okay? Now, I can say the shit that be going on in Africa with some of the countries and the leadership is wild. It shouldn't be going on. I can say that as a black person.
The way they treat white people is terrible.
Why in the fuck can you say that white people have ravaged, raped, and pillaged the globe? They've broken into the whole. Okay, so for people that have been a victim of that, why are you mad that they think white people are evil? What's wrong with that? That's their experience.
That's their
I smile,
That's fine.
but this is like me consuming this content. It doesn't always create smiles. It's a waste of time. I don't want to do this.
No,
tell the truth, this is not a good use of
they're
my
not
time.
charging you, and you can't get mad at
doesn't require me to do any work.
Like
and it can be highly entertaining. It is
entertaining. You guys
entertaining.
are so up in arms, like to take charge. How do you think black people have felt in this like the whole, like, y'all have excluded our history, acted like we didn't exist, told the parts that you want to tell, made us look, like bullshit. And we built this country. I'm sure you can agree with that. So, but now, as soon as someone
I can agree that black people had a big effect on the country. I could do that.
We had the effect, my nigga. Like it's free labor.
Well, then again, I'm not
what
even
I'm saying
a white
is,
person. I'm a European pretending to be white.
You have to be honest. Free labor is what got this country rich. If you didn't have black people, you don't have that. Look at what was big. It was sugar. It was sugar and cotton. That was the.
It's a totally different conversation in my.
The reason for the time question.
Just elaborate just for a moment.
Go ahead.
Like biblically, right? It's even led to the Ptolemaic model. Biblical concepts have led to.
I was being sarcastic. Not hostile, guys.
I'm just telling you, you should bring a magnetic compass. You should know.
Oh my God.
You should know the constellations at night and during the day, because the Bermuda Triangle is a real problem, and you can sink if you encounter it. I'm just trying to help you.
I literally grew up going down boats in the Bermuda Triangle, like.
He brings the two Hamzas. Another reciter, he only have one Hamza. He does not have the second one. He would say A'jami. Some other reciters, he put an alif between those two Hamzas. Okay, so what Muhammad was saying is there are more, like other options. And it's all Quran, so it's all acceptable for those who cannot do it this way. And those options are better than like ruining the word and bringing, for example, while trying to do it this way, changing the second hamza to a ha, for example, which is not acceptable. عين. Yeah, or to switch it to. Yeah.
The speakers, not just the viewers.
Yeah.
But even then, even when they go for a few hours, it certainly fills out the personality much more, but that doesn't mean they're gonna split hairs, as they tell me. So what is it about Clubhouse that can't compete with long-form podcasting? I think it's that people are awful, and
so he's in the room.
He's
sleeping. He's fucking snoring.
People who think very self-consciously about what makes them attractive. For example, not having a snoring dog,
Assalamu alaikum.
This guy's crazy. AJ, get ready. This guy's crazy.
Are you projecting?
So you're a Zionist, dude?
Don't let my PTR confuse you. Don't project your opinions onto me.
Yeah, don't do anything of those.
We don't like Zionists.
Well, I don't like your boring PTR either.
Literally try to like.
I'm talking about how the world sees us and how the world treats us. But as soon as, this is why we say y'all are so fragile, because as soon as someone, checks y'all or says, hey, white man, you got to check your privilege, or white man, this is what y'all, no.
Prove that I'm right. So who were the girls that you were in private rooms with? Exactly. Now, I want to know, why was this nigga in a room when we was talking about sucking white cock? Why was he on stage?
And modded.
It's so crazy.
Monism, like...
No, not monism. Molinism.
Oh, okay, my bad. I misheard you. I apologize. It sounds like people.
Yeah,
like,
it actually.
It's like therapeutic cope. Because I'm like trying not to think about the reality of the boat being broken and like anchored at a random fucking bay in Costa Rica. I'm like, can I repair it in the fucking bay? Maybe not. And I think I avoid thinking about it by just overanalyzing the course past Panama, which is a little bit delusional, but it's helping me avoid thinking about the problems in front of me. So if I install a totally new V drive, getting the alignment right, that's gonna suck. And what I'm really worried about is the fucking prop shaft and the prop just falling out of the boat while I do it and just ending up at the bottom of the fucking bay.
I mean, you could always just swap the house.
Energy between his thighs, on the highway at night. He doesn't want to wear a seatbelt because that gets played out. Okay? That's him. That's not capitalism, though. That's not capitalism.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, and I'll just tell you, in the 60s, look up the Buckle Up song. They had songs, that commercials that played on TV to promote wearing a seatbelt. So it was earlier than the timeline you talked about on Wikipedia, I think, was a little behind. Maybe it didn't get enacted.
It doesn't become
but
like a law.
Imagine, Gildas, you're an executive at one of these car companies, and you're saying, how dare the government force me to put a seatbelt in all of these cars, not knowing that in 50, 60 years, it's going to be common practice and save millions of people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely correct to point that out. But then that particular car firm can deal with bankruptcy when that trend gains critical mass. That's the way that things work in a capitalist society. Just because one car company is, totally belligerent about, I don't want to do that. Well, there's another car company, another firm who says, you know what? Based.
Oh, they kicked me.
And since then.
Well, no, I didn't. No, you were obviously not, because I critical think every day. Critical theory is a specific way of looking at the world. In particular, it's a way of looking at the law within the United States. And critical theory is a way to look at things and back engineer them to see how they might be negatively affected towards black people in this particular instance, right? It's a negative outlook. I'm not saying that every part of it is negative, or I'm not even saying that a lot of it is not true. A lot of it is true. But the ideology of critical theory, which goes into critical race theory, critical LGBTQ theory, critical theory in general, is based on law. If you have read about it, this is the method of looking at something, the method of looking at the law, the method of looking at race relations in the United States, the method of looking at the Constitution and the way it was designed. It is.
They kicked me from the room.
Yeah, I think you should go watch a video to make up for it.
No, because your content is shit. I know you guys have been fucking.
Wait. You haven't watched the video, and you know our content is shit? How do you know that? How do you know that?
Well, it's so easy, guys. Come on, please.
Yeah, so you haven't watched any of it, and you know that it's shit. How did you figure out it was shit without watching it?
Alright, so hit me with a link. And I will tell you how your shit is shit. Hit me with a fucking link, and I will directly tell you how your shit is shit.
You gotta put the Bitcoin sailing no space on YouTube. That's
if you put the ad, it helps. But here, I'll get you a fucking link.
Bro. All I know is I've seen you motherfuckers drop some links on the chat. I've clicked on it, and I'm just like, next.
It's gotten better, okay? We're working on it.
It's okay. I'm not shitting on.
Well, if you want to learn about how sailboats work, watching more than 1 second would be a good idea.
Okay, but don't question my habits on video watching. I'm telling you, you guys can.
No, I'm questioning your total ignorance about boats. That's what I'm questioning.
And like, I assume that sailboats don't have motors as wild.
Yeah.
Like they all have since like the early 1900s. But there you go. I gave you a link. That one's just a nice teaser. It's got some sexy titty action. Did you tell that one?
I love that one. Busted. I'm gonna go watch it in private, so I'm gonna give it my attention, and I'll be back.
That's only a 16-second video.
Go have fun. Go bust it. Oh man.
JR, the fucking goofy character.
He's fun. It's just he doesn't listen. It's a bad combo. But what was I gonna say?
Go ahead. I'm curious. Like, was it hard to find a hotel with air conditioning? I assume you have air conditioning.
On Google Maps, it said air conditioning, so I picked that one.
Is it one of the cheaper ones though?
Yeah, it's like $100 relatively. There's cheaper ones.
Okay, that's. Yeah, I mean, I saw there's like $30 and $40 ones, but I wasn't sure if they had AC, and I didn't look very far.
I think those are like hostels.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not down with hostels.
I just want a room to myself.
Yeah, and no pinworms. I don't like pinworms. I don't know. I knew somebody that got pinworms from a fucking hostel one time, and it's just the story alone traumatized the fuck out of me.
Oh my god. So I'm thinking what I might do is literally just dive down there, free dive, and like tie a rope somehow on the middle of the rope around the prop, and then just like run the lines up the boat to hold the whole prop and shaft thing in place. It'll just slip out and fall down, you know, once I remove the V drive. But one of the challenges is, well, this is even replace the V drive, right? If I just do the casing and stuff, which is like plan A, but plan A is pretty simple, and I'm looking at plan B. I'm skeptical it'll work. I just feel like there's something else that'll be broken just because of the karma of the universe, you know? But anyway, tie a rope to the prop and then like just tie it somewhere midship on the boat, both sides, hold it in there. One problem though is like, getting the alignment right is fucking difficult. I've helped people that were doing it on their boats when their boat was on land, and they didn't fucking get it right. They spent like days on it. And trying to get it right while the boat's rocking in the bay, like it's probably gonna be impossible.
Excuse me, Dusty, I gotta interrupt. Do we have any Canadians in the room?
Do we have any Canadians? Hey? I think we're fresh out of Canadians, Nate.
That's impossible. I do not believe it. Somebody's not responding.
There are a shocking number of Canadians.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Canadians are so salty about these tariffs, and it's like, what are you so salty about? I mean, I didn't even see them on the list. So I don't understand why Canadians are so salty in general to Donald Trump.
Oh, they're on the list. We're watching them. They are very salty about it. It's weird. Like, you can tell. I don't think it's just Canadians. Like, the Liberals are also on edge. Like, I feel like some of these New Yorkers... I've been just making jokes. I haven't made any comment about anything.
Republican, are you on a retainer?
I've just been making jokes. I've been like, I made a joke like, oh, the prices are too high in Costa Rica. Let's tariff these prices. And then someone was like, that's not how tariffs work. And I was like, do you think I was serious with that comment? But they did. Apparently. Everyone's on edge. Real talk.
I don't understand. It's just reciprocal. How can people be on edge about reciprocation? It's like this is an obvious thing that should have happened a long time ago. If you've ever traveled overseas with wealthy people who have assets overseas, if they want to bring a fancy car into that country, the taxes are insane. The import duties are insane. And the fact that we don't have reciprocation with some of the biggest countries on the planet where we can't sell our goods and services, we live in clown world. Clown world has thoroughly been exposed. Adrian Dittman, aka Elon Musk, has exposed clown world for the world to see. And it's just fake. It's just fake news that he's been fired by Doge, or he's stepping down at Tesla, or he's going back to. It's like all this shit is fake news every second of the day. It's just to get your eyeballs to look at some ads and create some gossip and emotional response in you. It's all insane propaganda.
You tell, sir, who modded you? Did you just have to put Republican in your name to get modded in here?
Who the fuck is that, by the way? Is that?
I know who it is.
No, he's a no.
I'm a candidate for Congress in the 16th district in Chicago, Illinois. We are doging and douging the state of Illinois. We are wiping J.B. Pritzker's butt, booty cheeks, big fat booty cheeks, those big huge cheeseburger cheeks, and we are putting the babies to bed. The clown tyrants and terrorists that have plunged us into the financial crisis that you all know we're in, and why you are all Bitcoin maximalists.
So tell me more about your boy Elon, please.
I think he does too much ketamine. It sounds like he works too hard for such a rich man.
You're the Doge father. You're not supposed to say that.
Well, if you've ever heard him late at night on X Spaces as Adrian Dittman hyperverbalizing, and people in the room are like, hey, we can't even understand what you're saying. You're hyperverbalizing. And then he eats like a big steak, and then you get to hear him eat a steak. It's like, this guy is not aware of like how he sounds. No one wants to hear somebody eat a steak and clink your knife on your plate. It's like, it's horrible audio.
Why did you decide to wear a costume on your PFP and you're all like pro, hurrah, all this bullshit? Like, what made you decide that you're the gun-ho guy for Doge?
Because if you actually go to x.com/Doge and you look at the descriptions in the requisition that they use SAP in the federal government, you can and you actually see what they've been spending money on. If you work hard and you pay your taxes and you see how they're wasting it, to me, it's enough to quit the game, where you're like, wow, okay, I'd rather, fight against this to the death than continue supporting the deep state and essentially the scam of our dollars and the fiat currency system. I mean, that's the worst part, is we're so deep in debt that I don't think we should try to pay the debt, to tell you the truth. I think we should actually destroy the currency, in my opinion, and we should issue liberty checks to all U.S. citizens that have Social Security numbers, and just basically nationalize the Federal Reserve and put all the money into every American's bank account. If you have a Social Security number and you can prove it, and we should actually just like shut the whole financial system down. I know it makes no sense because it's impossible because of the stock market and how everything is denominated in dollars, but I don't know. I feel like they should dissolve the Federal Reserve and combine it with the U.S. Treasury and give it back to we the people, our ability to be the monopoly of dollars. I think it'll resolve a lot of. It's not going to happen, but anyways, I'm just rambling at this point.
And from 1 to 10, What is your conviction on your beliefs on this?
I don't know. I would give myself a 1 because I feel like all communication is
What the
hypnosis.
fuck? That's not how it works because you're wearing the uniform and you're like
Because I'm just saying what I think a lot of people would prefer, but because of financial services and how big it is, like I was just looking up the CEO of Vanguard and where he came from. He came from BlackRock. But the point is, I mean, the banking and the financial services industry is so huge.
Wait. So you do have the mentality, like you have the programming to be impartial or to at least question, but you refuse to see what's right in front of you. Like literally, I can tell you right now, I actually had an encounter with the BlackRock CEO is Larry Fink. He has a son, and for whatever circumstance, I was able to parse, or I was able to look at his son's passport, which was like fucking. His passport was from another country, which whatever. These people claim they were born and raised in America, and whatever, dual citizenship. But I can attest visually that the BlackRock CEO's son is not a fucking American. So you can ask questions about that.
Oh, I had no idea I had this exciting opportunity to ask you questions about Larry Fink's son. Wow, what an incredible opportunity. Thank you so much, Dr. JR.
Well, you have to kind of, it's an anecdote to make you realize that, there are big players out there, and you have to actually kind of question the roots of first of all, where they're from, and what is their intent, right? So, like, you, to me, although you're wearing the whole fucking costume and mask, you don't actually seem to me like a retard. You're actually an inquisitive kind of person that's kind of like riding a wave of correction.
Well, what are you projecting? What's your point then?
I don't have a point.
So, I mean, if they got rid of the IRS and the federal income tax and the fact that Social Security number bearers have to file an annual confession and return, if they got rid of that and they issued us all Liberty checks and they said, okay, the books are, it's all, you don't have to pay taxes anymore. All Americans are free. Then you would really feel liberated. This is not like a real Liberty Day. The fact that we're now charging people to import goods into this country is not our liberation as Americans. I mean, the liberation comes essentially from the Declaration and the Constitution. But we all know that the Constitution is essentially, toilet paper now. And there is no Constitution.
What the fuck were you expecting today?
I don't know. I think it's a good day on average, but I don't feel more liberated than before. I just feel like this is common sense and pragmatic, administration. It's just common sense. I mean, reciprocation is essentially another word for common sense.
I can't even argue the right or wrong on this. It's a wait and see. We'll see tomorrow and what happens in the following week about like the repercussions of all these decisions. I mean, that's where I'm at. I've said it before. That's what I'm going to stand on. That's in regards to the tariffs, though. In regards to like the whole Doge operation and.
Listen, the scariest thing is, if there's all this investment coming into the country, and then if there's some type of black swan event, then all that investment is gonna stall. So if there's some type of like global supply chain network breakdown, and there is no investment and unemployment goes way up, it's not going to be pleasant. But the thing is, no one's really showing us any real statistical tables, or maybe like we're all just too lazy to try to calculate it ourselves. But if you just go to usdebtclock.org and you use that as your basis, and you just use that as an infographic, it pretty much shows you that we're paying $100 billion a month, technically, just in interest, essentially. So if they save $1 billion here, $1 billion there, $1 billion there, it's like, well, we just spent $100 billion last month. So it's like, ooh.
Alright, but one easy observation is the fact that without tariffs, we had the status quo. Now, with tariffs, we should expect some discomfort. And this discomfort is going to come in different forms that we're going to start to feel precipitously. So, and it's not going to be good. It's like, it's going to be a discomfort. So, my point
But
is...
not necessarily. It could open up a lot of international trade. I mean, do you realize that Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs have only been operating in China for like a couple of years? And I mean, do you have any idea the financial services market in China, if Citibank or Goldman or any of these banks could actually expand throughout China? I mean, you're talking about, $100 billion in value creation.
I hate fin firms. I'm actually not bullish on the proliferation of fin firms because I think there's too much money. There's this new economy of just paper pushing. So I don't give a fuck about expanding out to China or any other fucking nation with more fucking financial firms that are managing more private equity. I am actually fucking not bullish on that.
Well, the communication is positive coming out of the White House. The problem is people and the media is so good at distraction, gaslighting, misinformation, and propaganda that it just takes away from the primary source of information. Did you even listen to Donald Trump today talk to the United Auto Workers?
We are too smart to talk about these points. Like, you have to come with better goods. Don't say that, bro. Like, we're too fucking...
It's obvious. It's obvious.
It's mental midgetry when you come here and talk about the left or the right. No,
I'm not talking about the left or the right. I'm talking about the media business and how publishers create fake news headlines to waste all your time. In the same way that this app wastes a lot of your time.
I personally feel like we don't use these terms here. We don't talk about the left or the right or the fucking fake media. We talk about events that take place, and we don't fucking subjugate them to the left or right.
Listen, underneath the Biden administration, and you look at Doge and you see what they were spending all the money on, I don't know many Republicans that would waste money on that kind of bullshit. So, I mean, it is left versus right.
Don't go into the past. Let's talk about the present.
The point is, the right-hand path is the path of strength and the path of wisdom. The left-hand path is the path of trans and essentially socialism, communism, Marxism, or fiat hyper-inflation.
We're not even speaking on that, bro. The left isn't even speaking on that trans shit. We already know.
The left doesn't have abortion clinics set up all around this country. The left didn't have abortion clinics at Kamala Harris's DNC event. Kamala Harris didn't want to provide transgender sex surgery to inmates and illegal alien prisoners. And
shit went down, bro.
It's a culture war. It is 100% a culture war.
Nobody agrees with that.
So the point is,
nobody would have
The culture vulture, or the culture war winner is the one who gets to cut the checks. But I'm just saying that America has to prevent those types of people from ever running the government ever again because they're so crazy.
I do not agree. That's not how it works.
You cannot have transgender people in the government. You can't have Rear Admiral Levin make a comeback.
Relax. It's not even that perverse.
It's not perverse. These people are mentally ill and they're in huge leadership positions in a very popular, powerful country.
These people, you've already lost the narrative.
Okay,
relax.
You can support Rear Admiral Levin, and you can support Dr. Fauci and Pfizer, Moderna, and all the vax and all the boosters and all the lies. But you know what? Some people know that what has happened, especially with C-19 and the Zavs, that was tyranny and possibly depopulation. That was a conspiracy there.
You can have these opinions about how the state of affairs are, but you're a little bit too close.
Listen, you and I have no power. Robert F. Kennedy has power. Robert F. Kennedy is in power.
But we're smart people.
He just fired 10,000 people.
This is the privilege of American people, right? That we're actually fucking smart. We have high IQs. We can actually parse, true and false, and we can see through narratives, and we're actually adept. We don't fall victim to fucking authoritarian narratives or bullshit, or battle cries that come from flaky areas. We can actually discuss amongst ourselves and come to very kind of reasonable conclusions, of what's right and wrong. So your whole right, versus left argument, I implore you, literally, America is.
Yeah, but JR, this is politics. You have to create conflict, and that's just the way it is.
You don't have to buy into that political divide, is what I'm trying to tell you.
There is political divide. There's huge political divide.
Left versus right.
Listen, the Democrats have been in control for too long. They handle too much money, and they should have absolutely no access to taxpayer money. They're not responsible to spend any of it. All Democrats should be prohibited from touching U.S. taxpayer dollars. That's my opinion as a Republican. It's politics.
You can be a Republican, but you can be more reasonable.
No, the whole point of politics. Do you mean to tell me that these Democrats are reasonable people? They're totally unreasonable people. That's what makes them Democrats.
The fact that you say these Democrats, you're already templating in your
talking
mind.
About the Democrats on this app, the Democrats you find other places. A lot of Democrats don't even talk publicly because they don't even want themselves to be known how stupid they are.
I see you as a person that has opinions. I don't even see you
really,
as
JR.
You're like, oh, you're far right.
I'm surprised you think I have opinions. I don't know. Doesn't everybody have opinions? It's amazing.
Yeah, but the fact is, I'm not fucking boxing you into oh, you're a far right, XYZ. I'm just.
But listen, I hate to go back to room titles, but do you feel liberated, JR?
Do I feel liberated?
The funny part is, I never even know when you're playing one of your roles or not. It's kind of amazing.
Well, I'm an actor. I'm a performer. This is performative.
I know.
Do I feel liberated? What the fuck?
You don't feel liberated, do you?
I mean, I like all the fucking disruption and chaos, to be honest with you. I definitely did not want that bitch in office. So, this is what I got. But
look at the word liberty. Do you feel liberated? I mean, do you feel like you're jumping out of your skin?
No, because there's a lot of shit going on that's gamesmanship by the people in office, and that's not kosher. The shit that they're doing is not liberative. It is actually they're circling power for themselves. They're cornering markets.
I don't believe that. They're liberating markets.
I don't feel like I'm being liberated. I feel like I'm being coerced.
Do you have any idea how much regulation Trump has removed from EPA, from all these agencies? Do you have any idea how much business is going to take advantage of that?
Read the room title. It says
business is liberated. You should feel liberated.
Do you feel liberated?
It's a code word. It's a code word for do you want to complain about something? That's technically what the title is saying. I don't know if you know. It's a trick title.
Maybe I can actually come back to you and say, I don't think your feeling is just or whole because the country, the vibe is not regurgitating toward the whole country. It's not a thing that's like ever present. It's not everywhere. The whole country does not feel like it's been liberated. It is only maybe you that likes what Musk and Trump are doing, which is fine. But like I've argued this shit before, there's no collective enthusiasm of this country being united or just like America. Like I literally feel like China is actually their fucking residents are going, we're the fucking best, and they're riding the high of fucking patriotism. In America, we don't have a fucking collective unit of patriotism. We're not all fucking celebrating, like, collectively holding hands. We're the fucking best. We're fucking divided, bro. Like, we're divided, so, you know, like, how can we get back together? Well,
I don't think we're divided and we're not liberated, though.
You don't think we're divided?